Hello, Julia. Thank you so much for inviting me to the P3 Summit, this extraordinary experience that you've created for all of us. Welcome, everyone. My name is Heidi Smith, and my business is Free Yourself, Live Your Dreams. And that is my wish for everyone here. My purpose is I'm a coach. And I spread a message of transformation and joy through humor and lightness. I get excited about helping people move through their emotional blocks to have the life of their dreams. Now, it wasn't always that way. For most of my life, I had no idea what my purpose was. In fact, I didn't find out until I was 50. And I don't want you to have to wait that long. So my talk today is about how I moved through an intense experience from my childhood to uncover my purpose and my gifts. I will let you know that there is some sensitive content in my presentation about sexual assault. There is not a lot of detail and it doesn't last very long. I'm going to share with you 3 crucial concepts that helped me discover my purpose and my gifts. First, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Second, emotions are energy in motion. And did you know that words can change your brain? I will guide you through a powerful visualization at the end to help you with your purpose. I'll share a free resource with you from my coach that changed my life. Along with that, I'll share an invitation to support you on your ongoing journey. Before we begin, I'd love to share a breathing exercise with you that I do with all of my clients. So please sit back, close your eyes or cast your gaze downward, and let's do some clearing breaths. And just get grounded in this present moment. So with your eyes closed, take a big slow inhale through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Big inhale through your nose into this present moment. Letting go of everything that came before. Just relaxing into your body. Big breath in through your nose. Letting go of everything that needs to be done after this. Just relaxing and knowing it'll all get taken care of. Giving yourself permission to be here and now. Now just keep breathing here at your own pace with your eyes closed. And I want to offer you 3 gifts. The first gift is love. Experts tell us that when we focus on love, the emotional centers in our brain relax and calm. I want you to think about love. Think of all the people that love you, all the people that you love, maybe your pets, just thinking about all this love that is around you. The universal love that's here for you. Imagine that you are fully loved and supported in everything you do. Just breathe into that. And the second gift I want to share with you is that you are doing everything right. How can I know that? because there are no mistakes. Everything that has happened to you in your life has led you to this moment. Everything you're doing is right, and your best is good enough. Just breathe into that. Your best is good enough. And I want you now, the third gift I want to share with you is something I love about you. I love how curious you are. And I love the passion that you have in you to serve others. And how can I know that? Because you're here at this summit, opening up yourself, being curious and learning new things. You're willing to learn something new because you have a desire to make a difference in the world. And I love that about you. Thank you. So just keep breathing this way for a moment. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Welcome back. Everything that you have done has prepared you from this moment. I know for myself, when I look back at my life, I know that everything that's happened to me, even the most challenging and difficult things, have prepared me for my purpose. I can see how everything that's happened has led me to this moment. Let me start by sharing my story with you. As I said, for most of my life, I had no idea what my purpose was. I had my own business. I was a virtual assistant and I love people. So, it was a great business to have because I got to work with amazing people and I love helping others. However, it wasn't my passion. And I knew that because the entrepreneurs I worked with, so many of them were filled with passion and they were excited about the work that they did. And I could see it in their eyes and the way they talked about their businesses that they were fulfilled. And I was craving that feeling for myself. It hurt me that I didn't know what I wanted to do, that I had no idea what my gifts were. It was so frustrating. And I just was like, what is wrong with me? There was even a physical pain in my chest when I thought about not knowing what my purpose was. I was just about ready to give up when I met a coach named Aurora. And she shared this writing practice with me that changed everything for me. It changed the way I looked at the world, and it made me recognize that an intense experience from my childhood, that's what was blocking me from knowing my purpose and my gifts. That's what was the pain in my chest. When I was 12 years old, I woke up from a nightmare, which happened often when I was a kid. And my dad was out of town, so I was going to just go and sleep with my mom, like I normally did. It was pitch black and I was half asleep. And when I went into my mom's room, she wasn't there, which was really weird. And so I just was stumbling around in the dark, half asleep, and I went into the living room because the house was pitch black. And I kind of plopped myself down on the couch. And while I was sitting there in the dark, I heard my mom crying. And it didn't take me long to realize that my mother was being sexually assaulted in the dark. That moment changed my life forever. As you can imagine, I was devastated. In fact, I was filled with rage. It was like my whole life had been destroyed. My faith in humanity was gone. It was my mother's friend that did that to her. And so how could I trust anybody if somebody that she cared about had done something so horrible to her? I went from being this happy-go-lucky kid like Shirley Temple in the movies with the little ringlets to Linda Blair from that horror movie, The Exorcist. Ugh! I was possessed by hatred and rage, and my parents had no idea what to do with me. I had all of these overwhelming emotions and no way to cope with them. Tragedy, meet addiction. Addiction, meet tragedy. It was a match made in heaven. The two of them started dating when I was in my teens. They got married in my 20s. And it wasn't until I was in my 30s when I found recovery and stopped drinking that they got divorced and my life changed. Now back to my coach, Aurora. So the first guiding principle is when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. That's a quote from Wayne Dyer. Now, my coach, Aurora, with this writing exercise, she challenged me to look at what happened to me in a different way. She wanted me to look for what good came out of that experience. And I was like, good? Nothing good came from my mother being assaulted. And then when I calmed down, of course, she didn't mean that what happened was good. She wanted me to look for the gifts in what happened. So I was so desperate to know my purpose that I did what she asked and I thought about it. I contemplated what's something good that came out of what happened. And of course, the first thing I thought about is that I wasn't hurt. I wasn't physically harmed by what happened. And the more I thought about what happened after that night, the more I remembered all of the people that came to me and talked to me about their stories of abuse and violence. It's like I had a sign on my head. People just would trust me. They would come to me and they would confide their deepest, most intimate secrets. And because of what had happened to me, I wasn't scared of their stories. I wasn't scared of their intense emotions because I had my own intense emotions. Because of what happened to me, I had such deep empathy for them. I could listen to their stories, witness what happened to them with love and without any judgment. And when they were finished telling me their stories, I could tell them with 100% conviction that they had done nothing wrong. What an amazing gift that is to be able to connect with people in such a deep, deep way. And I was empathetic and I had that deep emotional strength because of what happened to me. After what happened with my mom, I was sent on a quest. It was a lifelong journey for me, looking for ways to feel better. I had all of these emotions and I needed help to deal with what was going on in my life. And so I have a lifetime of gaining resources and tools to help with my emotions, to help with anxiety and fear, to help with anger, to help me feel better. And now I know all of these wonderful, wonderful tools. Once I figured out that my purpose was to be a coach, it was an amazing gift to find out all of these things that I could use to help others. I started taking workshops when I was 15 years old, so I have all of these resources that I use with my clients today. I've seen the other side. I've been through the darkness, and I know the way to get to the light. And that is the work I do today. That is my purpose. Now, once I had the courage to look at what happened to me in a new way with my coach Aurora, I had another angel that came into my life, and her name was Angela. Do you get that? There's no coincidences, there's no mistakes. Angela was my angel, and she helped me to address all the intense emotions that I had around what happened. The second crucial concept that helped me with my purpose is the idea that emotions are energy in motion. Our feelings are energy. We are energetic beings, and emotions are meant to flow through us. Now, after what happened with my mom, I was holding on so tightly to all of this anger and resentment, hatred, shame, guilt, you name it. I had it all. And Angela, with all of her wisdom, love, and strength, she guided me through those emotions in a safe and efficient way so that I could feel them and express them. It was like I was a screen, and all of those intense emotions were big globs of dirt, big dirt globs that were stuck in my screen, clogging me. And with her help, I was able to feel all of those emotions. And it was like a beautiful rainstorm, and it just washed everything clean and clear. With Angela's help, my coach, those emotions don't have any power over me anymore. Once I set them free, once I felt them, it's like I could see myself for the first time. I knew what my gifts and talents were. I could see that I had this amazing empathetic heart, that I was able to love people wherever they were. I have great emotional strength because of what I've been through. And I'm an intelligent person. I've learned so much in my life. Connecting with all of these gifts and talents, I knew what I needed to do. I knew that I needed to help others who had been through experiences like I had been through. And now I'm not afraid of my emotions anymore. I know that my emotions all have a purpose and they all have a message for me. And now that's something I can share with my clients. I know that my feelings are an important part of me and that they all want the best for me, and each one has a purpose. Fear. We need fear to protect us. Our brain is hardwired, the amygdala, it's always looking for threats to our survival. Now, our brain doesn't know the difference between a real threat, like a stranger in the alley trying to kill us, or an imagined threat when we're dreaming, having a nightmare, or we're catastrophizing around something that we think might happen to us. Like maybe we'll get sick with COVID. We start to see that as a threat. And we work ourselves up into, our brain starts fixating on what it needs to do to protect us from this threat, even though nothing has happened yet. What we focus on expands. So when we're focusing on fear, we become uptight. Our amygdala, the fight or flight response, gets activated, and it blocks our connection to our problem-solving skills and our creative thinking. When the amygdala gets activated, all the blood goes from our brain into our limbs because we think we need to fight. It goes into fight, flight, or flee. Anger also has a purpose. Anger is a motivator for us. It's meant to give us all of this energy to change what's happening. Marshall Rosenberg talks about anger. When you boil down anger, you'll find unmet needs. So if your needs aren't being met, you need to do something about it. And that's what anger is for. It's an energy burst and a motivator to make things change, to make changes so that you can have your needs met. That's the healthy way to use anger. So anger is doing its job when it's giving us a big burst of energy. So that's meant to flow and move through us. We're not meant to hold on to the anger in resentments and hatred like I was about what happened with my mother. When we're holding on to emotions, they're draining our energy. They're pulling us back into the past so that we're not living the life that we need, the life that we want, feeling alive and vivacious because our energy is getting sucked into these clogs of emotion, these rocks and boulders that are holding us down. It's like we're carrying around this big bag of all these old emotions, these heavy rocks, and they're just dragging us down and taking our and taking our energy. What we need to do is feel these emotions in a safe and controlled way with someone that can guide us through them so that we don't get lost in any negative emotions. In my work, that's what I do. I guide my clients through their emotional blocks so that they can get through to the other side. And once they've felt their emotions, they're calm. They're clear and they can see what they need to do in their life. They can see the next steps that they need to take. A wonderful concept I've learned as a coach is that we are all conscious beings with choice. I love this idea that all of us are beings that are aware of our surroundings, our thoughts, and our sensations. And we have the power to choose. So no matter what happens to us, we can choose the way we look at things. We can do things differently. That brings me to the third point, the third crucial concept that I want to share with you. Did you know that words can change your brain? I love this book by Andrew Newberg, MD, and Robert Mark Waldman. It's full of research about how words affect your brain. They've done studies to show that just reading angry words impacts your brain. Anger sends alarm messages through your brain, so it starts to shut down your reasoning and cognitive function because of all of the chemicals that are released. So when you get into an argument and you're furious with somebody, and all of a sudden you can't remember all the amazing points that you had to tell them, and you lose the argument. then when you calm down, you remember everything that you wanted to say. And you think, oh my God, what's wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with you. That is your brain. It's all of the chemicals that got flooded through your brain because you were angry. Now, we also know that fearful words activate your fight, flight, and flee response. That's your amygdala. It sends you into survival mode. So when you're afraid and you can't think clearly, like we've said, it's because the amygdala has redirected all the blood into your limbs. So this book talks about so many ideas on how to change our body simply by changing the words that we are choosing. When we change the words we use with ourselves, like the way we talk to ourselves, when we change the words that we're using with others, when we relax and we focus on positive things, concepts like love and peace, our emotional centers in our brain calm. And that's when we then have full access to our frontal lobe, which is where our creative problem-solving skills are, our communication. It's all about relaxing our body and choosing the words that we use. It impacts our brain. When you choose new words, positive words, you change your experience. They talk about in the book how when you are using negative words over and over, that negativity not only impacts you, it impacts all of the people around you listening to it. So what you want to do is relax and start using positive words with yourself and the people around you. And they talk in the book about how celebrating good things that happen to you, talking about positive experiences, about love and happiness and celebration, when you're sharing those stories over and over, again, that impacts you in a positive way and the people around you. I used to think that what happened to my mother ruined my life. That experience changed everything, and I thought it made my life worse. But now I know that everything I went through because of that experience has made me into the powerful, empathetic, amazing coach that I am today. And I'm living my purpose because of everything that I learned from that experience. Have you ever heard the story of how a caterpillar changes into a butterfly? So we know that the caterpillar goes into this chrysalis and it creates this beautiful sac around it so that it can transform into a butterfly. But what we don't hear about is that when the caterpillar goes into the chrysalis, it actually gets destroyed. I mean, it's obliterated. There's nothing left of the caterpillar. It is destroyed, and only then can the butterfly, something completely new, emerge. Here's the thing that people don't know. When the butterfly breaks out of the chrysalis, there is a special chemical, because of the struggle to fight its way out of the chrysalis, a special chemical is released into its wings that makes the wings strong and gives the butterfly the ability to fly. Now, if someone were to cut open the chrysalis and make it easier for the butterfly to get out, it doesn't get to struggle. And that means that the chemical doesn't get released into its wings. And the butterfly's actually crippled because it didn't get to struggle. It's our struggles that make us who we are today. Choosing to see our struggles as the fuel for our purpose, we're choosing positive thoughts around our memories. And when we practice telling a new story about what happened to us over and over again, we can actually change where the memories are stored in our brain. Because I've been thinking about what happened to me with my mother in a new way over and over, I've created new neural pathways in my brain. It's called neuroplasticity, and we have the power to change our brains. Imagine your neural pathways are like little highways in your brain. So the old story the old story I had about what happened with my mother was that it was a horrible experience and it ruined my life. And now the new story is that I am the powerful being I am today because of what happened. And so there were two highways. The old thinking was one highway, and the new thinking was a different highway. And I had to pave that highway. I had to think the new thoughts over and over and over again, because our brain is all about conserving energy. It takes a lot of calories to think, and so the brain wants to use the neural pathways that have been traveled most often. So my brain would always go to the old story and the old neural pathway. But because I kept thinking the new story over and over, eventually my brain realized that the old highway wasn't being used, and so it closed it down. It filled it in. And now all I have is this new neural pathway about the story around what happened to my mother. So you can change your brain with the way you think. Each of us is a conscious being with choice. The light in me sees the light in you. The truest essence of you, that part of you that is so pure, the part of you that hasn't been touched by anything negative. There's no labels, there's nothing wrong with that essence, the truest part of you. And as a conscious being with choice, you get to decide how you live your life. You get to decide how you look at things. I don't need to be fixed. You're not broken. All of us are perfect, whole, and complete. You have the power to choose the words you speak to yourself and to others. By relaxing and using positive words over and over, you can change your brain. I see it all the time with my clients. When they've gone through their emotions and they're clear and calm, that's when it's time for us to create a new story about what's going on in their life. And that positive burst of emotions, it actually activates a part of your brain that's all about motivation. And when they have a new story, then they've got that energy to do things differently in their life. And when they do things differently, they have a new experience. I've said this before, what we focus on expands. And now I'd like to share an exercise with you to focus on your purpose. It's called creating a slide. So I want you to relax, sit back, and close your eyes. Now let's take a few breaths here. A slow inhale through your nose and slow exhale out your mouth. Breathing into this present moment and letting go of everything that happened before. Breathing into this moment and relaxing your body. Now I want you to imagine your purpose. Imagine living from your purpose. It doesn't matter that some of you don't know what it is right now. Don't worry about that. Just use your imagination because your imagination is so powerful. So I want you to imagine that you are living from your purpose. What makes your soul sing? Just imagine feeling fulfilled. Imagine yourself making a contribution to the world. You are a unique individual. There's no one exactly like you. And you have been put here with a special collection of gifts and talents that you have developed through all of your life experience. You've been sent here to make a difference in the world. So I want you to see yourself, imagine what you look like living your purpose, feeling fulfilled. Notice how that feels in your body. Notice the emotion. Hear the thoughts going through your mind. Feel yourself making the contribution that your soul wants to make. You are the only one that can do that. So imagine all of the people that you are helping. See their faces. Hear them telling you stories of how you've helped them. Feel it in your body. They're so happy. They're so grateful. Imagine how you feel. You're celebrating all of this that you've done, living your purpose. Notice the images going through your mind. Celebrate that you are living your purpose. Imagine that it's happening. See yourself 6 months from now or a year from now, celebrating that you are living a purposeful life. Think of all of the people that you've helped. Remember their stories, what they've told you. Remember how it felt in your body to hear those stories. Imagine who's with you when you're celebrating. See who's there. What's the weather like? What's the temperature? Notice all of these details that only you would notice. When you're thinking about all of these people that you've helped, imagine all the ripples moving through the world because of you helping them and them helping others. It's an incredible contribution that you're making. And I want you to imagine that. Celebrate it. Breathe into this. Living a purposeful life. Imagine how your body feels. Are you smiling? Feel the smile on your face. Feel the happiness, the fulfillment in your body. And now, take a moment to remember all of the details here. like you're creating a slide. You're creating a snapshot in your mind with all of the photos and feelings and thoughts and body sensations, all of that in this one slide, knowing what it is to live your purpose. So just breathe into that and remember all of these details for yourself. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. How do you feel? You can live your purpose. You are living it. Everything that you've done has created the person that you are so that you're able to live your purpose. Now, I want to share with you this writing exercise that my coach gave to me that changed my life. And I want you to commit to taking the time to do this writing exercise. Julia will send it out in the summit email. Now, the more you practice these disciplines of changing the way you look at things, of allowing your emotions to be energy in motion, the easier they become. You begin to see everything in your life differently. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And you begin to know that you have the power to choose the way you look at everything. And you have the power to create your experience. Know that you are on the right track. And everything you are doing is exactly right. I'm available to support you on your journey. I would be honored to get to know you better. I want to offer all of you a powerful coaching experience with me. So you can reach out to me on my website, HeidiCoach.com, and schedule a call with me. We are all conscious beings with choice. None of us can change what's happened to us. We absolutely can change the way we look at what's happened to us. And when we change the way we look at things, we create a new experience. You can have the life of your dreams no matter what's happened to you in the past. Better is possible. Thank you.